Titan Comics Conan the Barbarian comic book series.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Horror Mike Show.
Greetings, friends. Today we're going to take a look at Titan Comics' brand new Conan the Barbarian comic book series, starting with their intro to this series, which was published as a free comic book day issue. It's a free download. You can get it on PDF or you can get it on Kindle. I have the link in the description. I am not big on modern comics. Typically speaking, what it seems to me is that you see a modern comic and you're like, wow, that's a great looking cover. Then you open it up and it's crap art, crap story, and it's a bait and switch. Well, I am happy to report that this Conan the Barbarian comic book is not a bait and switch operation. Titan Comics has done Robert E. Howard proud with this series. And I will say right off the bat, I have only read the free comic book day issue, which has a 16-page story by the writer and the artist who are doing the 4-issue series. And this stuff delivers in spades, folks. Let us take a look at TitanComics.com. Now, this is a cover by Panosian. I think it's Dan Panosian, and it's a good cover. I like it. So let's read the intro text. Robert E. Howard's legendary Conan is back in a new tale of bravery and heroism. Years after the Battle of Venarium, a weary Conan returns to his homeland to seek rest and solitude. However, a mysterious scout rides in to warn the Cimmerians of an imminent threat on the march from the Pictish wilderness. Will Conan and his new ally be able to hold off this new horde of invaders? I wanted to show you this up close and personal because this is a gorgeous cover by Rob De La Torre. It harkens back to Frazetta, to John Buscema, the classic artists of the day. It's really amazing stuff. Now, the colors here are by Villarrubia, and this is the issue that I ordered. You may have heard Conan the Barbarian issue number 1 sold out, so they're on the second printing already. And these issues are getting harder and harder to come by. The first printings of these issues, I was able to snag a copy of this one. It is in the mail. This is an intro to Conan the Barbarian, written by Jim Zub, art by Rob De La Torre, part of the free comic book day series. This is Rob De La Torre art on the cover, and we have the credits and so forth for Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures, who are also involved in this. You may be aware that Titan picked up the rights to Conan. This is why they're doing this series, and I thank the gods for it. By Crom! Because they're doing a spectacular job. We begin with the Nemedian Chronicles, an opener here, prose, which ends with, Hither came Conan, the Cimmerian, black-haired, sullen-eyed, sword in hand, a thief, a reaver, a slayer, with gigantic melancholies and gigantic mirth, to tread the jeweled thrones of the earth under his sandaled feet. And they supply you with a map, which is fantastic. Of course, Cimmeria, and this is Venarium, which lies within Cimmeria. Really cool. They supply the layout, little map for you. On the Road of Kings. This is not a reading of the comic book. I'm not going to put you through that. I just want to show you some of the pages, the art, the atmosphere, De La Torre's amazing artwork. I mean, this stuff is just sweet, folks. There's no other way to describe it. It's fantastic. Here comes Conan, axe in hand, and he just smacks this guy right in the head. Conan the Barbarian, the savage son of a blacksmith who would one day wear a crown, blood dripping from the axe. And in his other hand, the severed head of his opponent, looking for lands beyond. Grim Jim Zub, writer. Ravaging Rob De La Torre, artist. Villainous Jose Villarrubia, color artist. riotous Richard Starking as letterer, merciless Matt Murray, editor. The writing is really quite good. Jim Zub is channeling Conan and Robert E. Howard perfectly. In an instant, the air turns brutal and bloody. The pent-up rage of Sumerian tribesmen unleashed upon armored Aquilonian soldiers. Beautifully done panels. This is just such a nice panel. The frozen reaches of the Northland. Just fantastic. The sea-swept coasts of the West. The scorching deserts of the South. And fierce jungles, each one brimming with danger and delight. You're going to want to read this, so I don't want to spoil the story. So I'm down to the last couple of pages here, and they're just beautiful splash pages. What glory yet lays before Conan? And of course, as you can see here, it seems to be hinting at the Tower of the Elephant. Beautiful Conan getting attacked by these weird, ghoulish creatures. The art here by De La Torre, once again, is just exquisite. There's I believe this is the great white ape. Onward into the great unknown. A word from the wise. Hither came Conan. Background on Conan. I love the way Titan Comics pays homage, righteous homage to Robert E. Howard. When Conan the Cimmerian first appeared in the pages of the pulp magazine WEIRD Tales in 1932, it not only marked the debut of writer Robert E. Howard's most famous character, but also the dawn of the barbarian archetype in popular culture. 2023 is the 100th anniversary of WEIRD Tales Pulp magazine, which began in 1923. So they are celebrating 100 years. I've done a couple of 100-year celebration videos. If you want to check them out, I talk about Robert E. Howard, Conan, H.P. Lovecraft, and other writers. So check those out. They're on my channel. Created at the height of America's Great Depression, when the public's mistrust of structural pillars of civilization was at its peak, Conan, a thief, pirate, and mercenary, was the perfect anti-hero. Check out this first half of the image. These are all characters that were created by Robert E. Howard. You may notice Solomon Kane in the background there. So you have Conan to his right. You have Robert E. Howard himself. And of course, Red Sonja further down, and a ton of other characters. And they finish off by saying, sometimes modern civilization can feel pretty unnatural, and his adventures make one hell of a great read. They give you the little chart here for the Robert E. Howard group shot and all the characters he created. Talk about a free comic book day comic book that delivers. I would pay money for this. It's just fantastic. Here's a section called Interior Development. Presented here are the humble beginnings of Conan Comics, from thumbnails through to final lettering. So here's your initial very rough thumbnail page. There is the translation. On the other side, I can bring this up a little bit so you can see it more clearly. Here's De La Torre's fantastic pen and ink work. Great stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing this in a black and white comic book. So here we are, folks. This is still on the TitanComics.com page. Download Conan the Barbarian, free comic book day comic. Down here, you get the option to download the PDF, which is what I did and what I just showed you, or you can get it on Kindle. It's so rare with a new comic book these days that I'm excited about it, but this really delivers. It's no bait and switch. You've got the great writing and the excellent art of De La Torre on the inside. Fantastic. I love it. I dig it. Looking forward to this 4-issue series. I can't believe I'm even saying that for a modern comic book. That is nuts, man. Once again, as I say, in a blue moon, for me, these things happen. And it's happened, folks. Conan the Barbarian from Titan Comics. So what you see is what you gloriously get. By Crom.